Ever hit a dominant chord in a jazz tune, say like in Take the A Train or Just Friends, and feel like your go-to dominant licks just sound wrong over them? Frustrating, right? You're trying to use your dominant vocabulary, but it's just not landing. That's because there's a critical misunderstanding most players have about soloing over dominant chords. You'll discover the essential two types of dominant chords in jazz, and more importantly, how to play killer lines over each one. Now, to really nail this and get these concepts into your fingers, I've created detailed guitar profiles that have every example written out, plus a super helpful bonus etude to help you integrate all these sounds into your playing. You can grab all of that and support future lessons on my Patreon. The link is down below. So are you ready to finally unlock the secrets of dominant chord soloing? Let's dive in. Alright, so we established that not all dominant chords play by the same rules. It's like showing up to a jam session expecting every song to be a medium swing. You quickly realize there's a whole universe of styles and rhythms out there. So let's demystify the two main types of dominant chords you'll encounter on your jazz journey. So first, the functional dominant. Think of this as the dominant chord with a mission, to create tension and resolve powerfully down a perfect fifth. It's that classic 5-to-1 movement that's the bedrock of so much jazz harmony. You hear this constantly. Take the Miles Davis tune, Solar. It's practically a masterclass in functional dominance resolving downwards. So now enter the non-functional dominant. These are chords that can throw a wrench in your usual dominant approach. They don't resolve down a fifth in the expected way as our functional dominants, and sometimes they can even hang around without resolving. You can find these intriguing non-functional dominants all over the place in jazz. Think about the D7 and Take the A Train. Instead of going to G major like a normal dominant would, it moves to D minor 7. It's a whole different thing, right? Or that F dominant 7 in Just Friends that unexpectedly climbs to G major 7. That's the clever backdoor dominant at work. These chords have their own logic and sound. So how do we navigate these two distinct dominant landscapes? First, let's tackle the non-functional dominants. The key here is to treat them as a temporary tonic dominant, a stable sound that doesn't have that strong gravitational pull downwards. This often means using less altered sounds or notes. A fantastic starting point for this type of sound is to use the dominant bebop scale. It gives you a classic smooth dominant sound with that added passing tone that helps connect to the following chord. For example, over that F7 in Just Friends moving to G major 7, the F dominant bebop scale would sound like this. Notice that natural seventh creating a smoother flowing line. To add more melodic interest, let's explore some simple arpeggios within this F tonic dominant sound. So first, just play the arpeggio off the root of our dominant chord. So you're going to build your arpeggio in thirds. But now let's do the same thing off the third of our F7 arpeggio. So let's do it off of A. Notice here we get an A half diminished chord, so that will also work over our F7 tonic dominant sound. Let's do the same thing now, but starting on the fifth. So now we get a C minor 7, and if we do the same thing starting on the flat 7, we get an E flat major 7. So all four of these arpeggios being F7, A half diminished, C minor 7, and E flat major 7 will work in the F7 tonic dominant sound in conjunction with our bebop scale. Here's an example. See how we're still targeting the chord tones of a G major 7 at the end of our phrase, but using these new tools that we just discovered to get there. Here's another example using our tonic dominant tools to tackle the D7 moving to D minor 7 in Take the A Train. Now for a bit of spice on the sound, you can use the melodic minor on these non-functional dominants for that dominant 7 sharp 11 vibe. To get this, play the melodic minor scale starting a fifth above your non-functional dominant. So for example, our F7, we're going to play C melodic minor. Here's a line using that sharp 11 sound on the F7 moving to G major 7. Also, by the way, for those who really want to dig into these scales and arpeggios, I've created detailed guitar profiles for all these examples available on my Patreon, which you can find linked below. Now, before we dive in how to tackle those functional dominant chords, I want to take a quick moment to thank one of the sponsors of this channel, Stringjoy strings. I've been using these strings for years, and if you've been watching my videos, all the videos are using these strings. If you want to support the channel and help support a great company, then make sure to pick up a set below using the link in the video description. Finally, let's talk about our trusty functional dominant chords. These are the ones that thrive on tension before their satisfying resolution. This is where we often use altered sounds, being raising or lowering the ninths and or the fifths of our dominant chords. You've likely already heard this sound before. For example, here's a common phrase that highlights the flat 9 sound of a 5-to-1 motion. In this line, that A flat over our G7 creates the altered sound with the flat 9. Or how about this one that starts on the sharp 9 of our dominant chord? Hear how these altered notes build anticipation for the resolution. So to fully unlock the altered sound, you need the altered scale, which is just the melodic minor scale like we went over earlier in this lesson, but now a half step up from the root of our functional dominant chord. So for G7 altered, that's going to be A flat melodic minor. This scale is packed with those altered tones. In fact, it has every single altered tone in it. Here's a line using the altered scale over G7 resolving to C major. So there you have it. Understanding the crucial difference between functional and non-functional dominant chords and knowing how to approach each with the right tools is a massive leap forward in your jazz improvisation. No more feeling lost over those weird dominant chords. Now you can play with intention and truly connect with the harmony. To help you solidify these concepts and really get them under your fingers, remember those detailed guitar profiles and the bonus etude I mentioned. Also, on the note of Patreons, I want to thank all the Patreons that support me. Without you guys, none of this is possible, and I truly appreciate your support. Thank you. Now go put these ideas into practice and start hearing the difference in your playing. And as always, thanks for watching, and remember to always keep swinging.